Hello everyone. On my Caught Like a Fly cover video, I got a request to do a tutorial. Before I start, I must say that this will have to be recorded in a few different clips because of how much of the piano I can fit on the screen at any given time. I will attempt to string them together into one video, but if worse comes to worse, I'll upload a part 1, part 2, etc. And also, yes, I really hate this disgusting artificial lighting, but it's nighttime and it's pretty much the only time I have to record right now, so we'll just have to deal with the lamp light for now. Let's get started on the verse. The verse is pretty much carried out with a simple chord progression in a 1-2-3-1-2-3 pattern. With those chords, we're mainly using the top two notes of the chord. The first chord is D flat, F, B flat, and we're using the F and the B flat. The second chord is C, F, A flat, and we're using the F and the A flat. The third chord is B flat, E flat, G flat, and we're using the E flat and the G flat. Then the fourth and final chord is C, F, A, and we're using the F and the A from that chord. In the 1-2-3-1-2-3 pattern, the left hand plays all of the ones, and the right hand plays all the twos and the threes. So then you get a sound like this. Then when you add the words, it sounds like this. Caught like a fly in a web of your life, truth be told now. When the lyrics get to the part that say, if you knew of the person that you became, that's when the left hand starts to use octaves instead of a single note. I'm pretty sure the camera isn't picking up the E flat over here, but I'm assuming you know where the octave from this E flat is. Because when you say, if you knew of the person that you became, you're in the chord with E flat and G flat. If you knew of the person that you became, yeah. Then you get to the lyrics that say, I will not just lay down and take this. And for that, it's the same chord progression, but really you can use almost any rhythmic pattern that you can come up with. I'm not sure, but I think what I did in my cover was to play all of it, and then some kind of left hand spaz, and then another right hand chord. I'm not exactly sure, but in that part you can pretty much use any rhythmical pattern, and I'm talking about the I will not just lay down and take this part. But then right after that, it goes into You've Left My Heart Black and Blue, and that's the same as the beginning of the verse, except for you using octaves in the left hand, so it sounds like this. You have left my heart black and blue, etc. It's using the same 1-2-3-1-2-3 pattern also, as you've just seen. The next clip will probably be the chorus. Hello again. This is the second part to my Caught Like a Fly tutorial, where you will learn how to play the chorus. The right hand has a simple 8-chord chord progression, and these are the chords. The first is D flat, F, A flat. The second is C, E flat, A flat. Then B flat, D flat, F. Then this funky chord, C, E flat, F, A. And when I usually play, I leave off the A, but you're more than welcome, of course, to include the A if you choose to play this. And then it goes to B flat, D flat, G flat, then A flat, D flat, F, then once again that funky chord with C, E flat, F, A, and then resolves in B flat, D flat, G flat, And then if you're playing the song, it would then go into the second verse. The left hand uses those same chords, just inversions, and playing arpeggios. Its first chord uses A flat, D flat, and F, and by arpeggio I mean like this. Each chord has 4 arpeggios, except one of them, which I'll get to. But again, the first chord is A flat, D flat, and F. The second is A flat, C, E flat. Then the third is F, B flat, D flat. And this is the funky chord. It's the first arpeggio of it starts on F, then goes to C, E flat, F, E flat, C. Then the second arpeggio starts on A and does the same thing, C, E flat, F, E flat, C. So altogether it sounds like this. And then the next chord is G flat, B flat, D flat, then F, A flat, D flat, then again that funky chord, and then resolving in an arpeggio of the chord G flat, B flat, D flat. So then all together it would sound like this. And then you would go into the second verse, if that's where you are in the song. Hello again. This is the third part to my tutorial of how to play Caught Like a Fly. This is where I'll teach you how to play the guitar solo. The guitar solo is in air quotes. And the beautiful bridge. Now the reason guitar solo was in air quotes is because I very much simplified it, but we'll just get started. It starts off, well, the right hand starts off with a trill between C and D flat, then goes to A flat, so that sounds like this. And then the third and fourth times it ends on the A flat up here. Meanwhile, left hand is doing octaves on A flat and D flat, so then it sounds like this. And then, mind the camera moving. Bloop. Alright. I promise left hand's the same this right now, until it changes. For the second part of the guitar solo, it's pretty much the same thing as you played an octave lower, except the right hand has an added kind of melody. You'll see what I mean. This is where left hand changes to G flat and B flat. Now to recap what that just was, a trill between C and D flat that ends on A flat, which is the same thing you played an octave lower. And then the melody is just a D flat octave that ends on A flat, and another D flat to A flat. And then for that chord change, it goes F, B flat, and when you press B E flat, that's when the left hand changes from the octaves of A flat and D flat to the octaves of F and B flat. I'm pretty sure the camera can't pick that up, but just trust me, those are the notes. And then, for the last chords in the guitar solo, you go to A flat and C being played on the right hand, and on the left hand is A flat and D flat, but the right hand moves up to D flat for the second time the chord's played. And then as a resolve, it uses this chord, G flat, B flat, and D flat, while the left hand just plays the G flat and B flat, so then it sounds like this. Now moving on to the beautiful, beautiful bridge. Just move my notes over to the other side. Okay. I'll start with the left-hand arpeggios. The arpeggios aren't like your average up and down. It goes from the lowest note to the highest note to the middle note. I'm fairly certain there's a term for that, or it just might still be called an arpeggio. Correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm right. And the first chord in the beautiful, beautiful bridge is a D flat, an A flat, and an F. And then it goes to a C, an A flat, an E flat. Then down to a B flat, F, D flat. Then do you remember that funky chord from the chorus? Well, it makes a return in the bridge. F, C, E flat, F, E flat, C, then A, C, E flat, F, E flat, C. And then after that it goes to G flat, B flat, D, G flat. And this is where it's actual up and down arpeggios. And then it goes to the chord F, A flat, D flat, F. And then back to that funky chord, F, C, E flat, F, E flat, C, A, C, E flat, F, E flat, C. And then resolves on G flat, B flat, D, G flat. Now that's a lot to take in, but this is what the left-hand portion of the bridge should sound like. Now for the right hand, it has more of the melody in this part. Granted, it's still playing chords, but it seems more of a melody because it's beautiful. No. The first chord is D flat and F, and then moves up to G flat, then to an C and E flat, then goes to F, E flat, B flat and D flat, then F, E flat, C and E flat, then F, E flat, B flat and D flat, then G flat, C and B flat, A flat and B flat, then F, E flat, C and E flat, then F, E flat, B flat, and D flat, then finally resolving on B flat, D flat, and G flat. Now once again, that's probably a lot to take in, so I'll play it again. So then all together, the bridge should sound like this. Into the ending chorus, which is pretty much the same as the other choruses, except with the left hand it does the full chord arpeggio instead of just 3 notes. Then to finish the song, it goes back to the chords used in the verse, except for the left hand uses octaves, and it's slightly different because it mainly only uses the chord with F and B flat, then the octaves in the left hand change. And that's the outro. And there you have it. Caught Like a Fly by Falling in Reverse.